I'm currently in a new setting because I'm currently back home with my family. I'm going to be reading, don't mind that the teapot is on because I was heating up water. But I have my Kindle, I want to read. I haven't really read a book since right after Christmas. So it's been a while since I've read and actually completed a book. I'm currently reading From Lukov with Love. And I like it, but it's not what I needed to do, and I'm in such a reading slump. I've just been going through a lot of things lately. I haven't really been reading, but I want to get back into reading, and reading always helps me. And it's like my therapy. I feel like for me personally, the best way to get into something like that is a quick-paced thriller. So I decided that I'm going to pull out my phone and just record me reading for the week and just reading thrillers, because that's what gets me back into reading, and those are the most fast-paced, easiest reads for me when I'm in a massive reading slump. So I have my Kindle because my Kindle is my trusty place where I read all of my thrillers. And also I don't like buying physical thriller books because once I found out what happens in the thriller, I normally don't go back in and read thrillers. So Kindle's the place to be. Looking through 3 Frida McFadden books currently. So we have The Surrogate Mother, The Intruder, and Dear Debbie. I'm gonna pick the one with the least amount of pages because it's gonna be the fastest to finish, and I just want, like I said, a book that's gonna get me through reading it fast. The Surrogate Mother has 298 pages, not bad at all, under 300, we like under 300. We did release a newer one recently called Dear Debbie that I've had an eye on that I want to read. That one has 329, so over that 300 mark. And then the last one that I have on my radar is The Intruder, which is 271. And I don't actually know what any of them are about. The Intruder is the shortest. I think I'm just going to start with The Intruder. I might actually read all 3 of them this week. I might only read one. We'll see. You guys are going to be following me along while I read thrillers for the week. Let's get into The Intruder by Frida McFadden. It's the next day. I'm currently on page 37 of The Intruder. It's going really well. This book starts off that this girl lives in a cabin in pretty much the middle of nowhere. She's gonna be moving around a little bit. A storm outside, which is very fitting because, as you guys saw, it is storming outside right now. In the book, it's a rainstorm. In real life, it's a snowstorm. So I put the fireplace on because I'm cold and it just adds to the environment. And I'm gonna sit and read a little bit more of my book. Currently on page 37, which is 15% of the way through. I'm liking it so far. It's already kind of creepy and I'm home alone. Well, it's me and Bambi. I'm a little spooked out, but I'm excited. I fell asleep reading this book last night. It already has me hooked and I'm excited to find out what happens. We're going between a then and now timeline. The now timeline is Casey's perspective, the girl that lives in the cabin, and the then is a student named Ella. And something happened with Ella in the past that we obviously still don't know yet. And then, yeah, I don't want to give too much away because this is spoiler free, but creepy things are happening in the now timeline and I'm loving it. I would ideally like to finish this book today. Let's get into it. Short chapters. I know that they do this on purpose, but the now perspective is so much more entertaining than the then. And like I said, I know that they're doing this on purpose, and it's because like the then is gonna give us answers probably to the now, and it's all gonna tie together, and there's hints at things that I know for a fact are gonna somehow come together, but the now is just so much more entertaining, and that's where everything's kind of actually going down right now. So every time it really escalates and then we go to the then, I'm like, but we're back in the now and I'm entertained again and creeped out. So
like fly around and it like goes off and then it's like whoosh, and then it starts covering your name. It's so crazy.
hi. So it's actually been a few hours. You know what, I'm gonna shut off the fireplace. to sleep high up on the pillows. We don't know why, but... Okay, so as I was saying, it's been a few hours, making me realize I'm a slower reader than I thought I was. On page 95, 35% of the way through. I still don't really have many answers, and I probably won't get many until closer to the end of the story, obviously, but I am almost halfway through, which makes me excited. I'm gonna keep reading, and I'll keep you guys updated. Okay, update, 3:15 p.m. Still snowing. I read a little bit more of my book, and then I realized I started to fall asleep, so I just popped some YouTube on the TV. I actually didn't end up sleeping, but I was just kind of hanging out. Bambi was sleeping next to me, so that was the last thing you guys saw. I was reading a little bit more. I got almost halfway through. Not too many events are going on right now. Like, it's very then and now timeline, and we're kind of just baby stepping every time we go back and forth. So the story hasn't progressed that much, but I'm liking it. My point is, I make my second coffee of the day because I don't normally have 2 coffees a day, but I'm craving a coffee, so I'm gonna make it, and I'm gonna make one with you guys, because why not? Fantastic.
Bombastic dark chocolate. It's not.
Okay, so I just finished The Intruder by Frida McFadden on my Kindle. I was reading a lot today. I didn't film a lot because we were with my grandma and we were running errands a lot. In between all of that and just now, I was just sitting on the couch and I was reading nonstop. Like, I couldn't put the book down. I will say the book, at one part of it, I was worried that I was going to be disappointed just because sometimes there's books that, there's thrillers that kind of just don't have twists, and you're just following like a storyline, but there's no twists or turns. It's just like, there's this and then there's that. You get from point A to point B, and that's what I thought was happening with this one because it's happened in one other book by Frida McFadden that I've read. I think it was The Crash that I felt that way, so I was worried that that was going to happen because it caused me to dislike the book. But then it picked up again, and once it picked up, I couldn't put the book down because you know where there's just that point in the book, if you know, you know, or it's just like you're going to start getting all your answers and things are just escalating until the end, and you're going to keep finding things out till the end. That's the feeling I got. Couldn't put it down, like I said. So I was really enjoying it. I had a good time. Is it one of my favorite thrillers of all time? No. Characters, the twists, the then and now timeline was really well done, but I've definitely read better thrillers. Even by Frida McFadden, I've read better ones. I did rate it 4 stars. Also, I do want to mention this. I did touch it a little bit, I'm not gonna lie, but anyways, so I rated it 4 stars. I do have a reading journal that I have like a star rating guide because I never know what to rate my books. I know it's not that big of a deal, but it kind of is to me. Like, I like going back and looking at what I rated them. So I have star rating chart. So I was just following that, and based off the chart, I did enjoy it, but I didn't love it. It's not something that I would reread, but I would recommend. Like, my sister loves thrillers. I would definitely recommend it to her. So I rated it 4 stars. I don't really get too specific with the 3.25, 3.75. But if I would, it would be a 4 or like a 3.5 star. Before I pick the next book, I just wanted to fill out my reading journal, and I thought I would do it with you guys. I have my reading journal and I have my coloring supplies, but I'm gonna fill out my reading goal for 2026. Yes, I've only read 1 book this year. I'm getting back into my reading journey, and this was a good book to start it off. So, second box filled out. Just gonna fill out my reading log now. So on my reading log, I have title, author, my star rating, and the date I finished it. So we're gonna put 2. Title was The Intruder, Frida McFadden, and the date today is February 19th. Next page is my monthly tracker and my genre tracker. Also, my inspiration for my reading journal is not my own. I get a lot of interest from I get a lot of inspo from Pinterest, and a lot to Rachel Catherine. And it was a mystery book. Okay. This page is done. It was not one of my 26 books in 2026. My Kindle reads, which I have a good feeling there's going to be a lot of this year, because we'll see in later vlogs that I'm going to be traveling to new places this year. 26 is the year of adventure and new experiences. Stay tuned for those videos, but a lot of reads are going to be on my Kindle, so I'm excited to fill this out. That is it. So we're going to leave it at that, and then I think I'm going to choose my next read either tonight or tomorrow, but I will keep you guys posted. I'm going to go play with this little girl because she needs a little bit of attention. Hi. It's been a couple days since I last filmed. I've been sick I was dealing with a little bit of a cold over the past couple of days, and honestly, I didn't feel like looking at a screen or any words on a page at all because I just felt so kind of nauseous, and I just had such a bad headache. But I'm back and I'm better, and I'm gonna continue this video because I want to keep reading and I miss reading. I think the last thing I recorded was my review on The Intruder by Frida McFadden, and shortly after that I started Surrogate Mother by Frida McFadden. So I don't know if you can tell or if you noticed, but my mom did do my highlights yesterday, so I am a little blonder at the root, which I'm very happy about. I really like how it turned out. I feel like she did a great job. Thank you, Mama. And so we have started The Surrogate Mother. I am currently literally on page number 1. I have not read anything of the book yet, so I think I'm just gonna take you guys with me today and see how far I can get into reading. So let's get into The Surrogate Mother by Frida McFadden. So I've been reading a little bit. I got to chapter 2. What I've concluded so far is that the main character works for a diaper company and she hates her boss. I don't know. The whole concept of it feels a little different to me. For a thriller, I'm just going to continue to read until lunchtime, and then I will fill you guys in on a little update after that. But I want to get a little further into the book before I continue talking about it.
At this point, but once we finish this, we'll be done with the front matter, and we're gonna go into like some work with the glue stick. Pray for me. The year I was excited about. Next up, we have such a great hobby. I love listening to audiobooks while I do it. To just kind of like release that pressure and just enjoy it and embrace.
Okay, it's a few hours later. I'm currently on chapter 10, page 73, so I'm a quarter of the way through the book. I don't really have much else to say on it. I'm gonna keep reading. I have nothing else to do. I feel like this is a theme in this video. Okay, I'm back. Been a few days, or it's been about a week, I think, since I last filmed anything. And I'm obviously in a new location, as you can see, which I don't want to get too much into details about that because you will see more of that in the next video that I upload, so stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, I did finish the three thrillers that we were talking about, the Frida McFadden books, in that week. But I didn't get to sit down and talk to the camera much at all for the last two books that I read because I was just really busy at home. And I think I was reading The Surrogate Mother, that was the second book, and then I read Dear Debbie, and I started and finished Dear Debbie on the plane. Now that about a week has passed and I was able to gather my thoughts and finally just sit down with the camera and talk to you guys about the books I read. I'm gonna do my best because I honestly, this happens a lot with me and thrillers, especially quick thrillers like this that I read so fast because they all kind of get jumbled up together. And so I honestly even kind of forgot a little bit about everything I read, so I'm gonna have to go back in my brain and review all of that. I'm glad that I did this video because it got me, not only made me kind of read, but also I was excited to pick up a book again after being in a slump for so long. My goal was to get back into reading and get excited to pick up books again, and I think I did it well. I can't wait to make more videos and film more reading vlogs and videos like this for you guys in the future because I love doing it. I love filming my in the lives, but I also really like reading, so I want to share more of that with you guys. But I read, the first one was The Intruder. Really liked that one. I liked the concept of it. It felt like a TV show kind of vibe, and I talked about that one already. You guys know I gave that one 4 stars, and I think that still stands. I have friends or my sister who like reading thrillers, and I would definitely recommend that. I feel like they'd have a good time reading it. Like I said, I don't think it was life-changing, but 4 stars I just feel like is accurate. It might be a little generous, but when I think about what I rated the other 2 books that I read, I feel like that just makes the most sense for me personally. I'm a really generous rater, but at the same time, it's hard for a book to be 5 stars for me, like really, really hard. Sometimes I get so disappointed because I'm like, maybe my standards are too high, but anyways, besides the point. Second book was The Surrogate Mother. So this one I had mixed feelings about. I'm trying to remember exactly. Like, that's the thing. The Intruder, I remember the storyline, I remember the characters, I liked it. The Surrogate Mother was just very forgetful for me, if I'm being completely honest. I think I finished that less than 2 weeks ago, and I don't even have much to say. I just remember feeling like I wanted more. It wasn't too twisty or mysterious. It felt more of like a suspense book, if that makes sense. Like, it was kind of always leading to something else, but it kind of just played out, and it was honestly pretty predictable for me. Like, the things that I thought were gonna happen happened, and was just, it fell flat for me. Or at least for me, I knew who the bad guys were. I knew who, I don't want to give anything away, but if you've read it, you might know what I mean. I've definitely read better thriller books and also better Frida McFadden books. This one just fell kind of flat for me. I think I rated this one 3 stars, which is still pretty good, but I wouldn't jump to recommend this book to anybody. I would definitely recommend other books of hers or other thrillers before. And going off of that, so Dear Debbie was the third and final book that I read in this vlog. I barely filmed myself reading it. 1, because I read it so fast, 2, because I read it on my flight day, and that's why. So Dear Debbie, quick synopsis. I feel like I haven't given synopsis at all. Debbie is a journalist, and people write into her article. She's fired from her job because she writes advice that's a little too inappropriate. We're following Debbie, we're following her husband, whose name I forget, and we're following her friend's name, who I think her name was Harley. Goes back and forth between all of them. I didn't mind that aspect, but again, between those 3 timelines, I usually prefer a little more build-up, I want to say, to the twists. And I didn't get that. I feel like we jumped into one person's perspective and then we just found out something right away. It was really quick paced, which I like, but it just felt like it was just so surface. And I get it that it's a thriller, it's nothing too crazy, but I've read thrillers that have been way better and they're quick paced and you're excited to read it. And this just didn't do it for me. Like, we were getting little twists and turns sprinkled throughout the book, but that's all it really was. And I don't want to harp on it and I don't want to be negative. Looking back, it wasn't a bad book. Like I think I preferred Dear Debbie over The Surrogate Mother. I will say I kind of predicted the final twist in the story. Was it simple in my opinion? Yes, and for that reason, I think I gave it 3.5 or 3.75 stars. It was not bad. I definitely think I would recommend it, but again, it's like a simple thriller, and I don't really have much more to say about that. All in all, if we're looking at the 3 books all together, I had a really good time. I thought I'd be more burnt out from thrillers after reading 3 in a week and a little bit, but I'm not, surprisingly, which is really, really nice. Like, I feel like I could still pick up another thriller soon and enjoy it. I like books that I can get through quickly and that they're fast-paced and twisty. That's the reason that I chose to read thrillers, to get myself back into reading, because I knew they would do the trick, and that's exactly what they did. So these 3 books and the writing style definitely served its purpose for this video, and happy about that. Are they gonna be my favorite books or even favorite thrillers of all time? No, but these ones were fun. I had a great week of reading. I'm now on my other read. I'm a little more than halfway through my next read, so I'm really happy about that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know I didn't really talk to the camera much throughout the vlog, which I would have liked to do more of, but if you like videos like this, give it a thumbs up, and I definitely will be making more videos like this one. Also, stay tuned for the next video that I upload. I don't know when that will be because I'm in a new location, and I'm really, really excited about sharing this with all of you. So stay tuned for next video, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.